Okay, I am back. I have the call sheet in front of me. Somebody had said perfect earlier. That counts as any mention of the weather. So I am going to see if I am logged into the correct account on Steam, and then if I am, we can get to bingo. We can get to, oh, I have like a gazillion messages. This is what I get for not checking my phone. We can get the marbles right away. Oh. Okay, so is everybody excited? I'm excited. Oh, they have the live view. All right, so let's open up NASA space flight YouTube.
Solid propellant. So that was placed into the stage all the way back in Utah, where the stage was built.
All right, I got a lot going on. Hold on.
To Wallops in the middle of last year for this anticipated launch. So all in all, it's an exciting mission. Cygnus is bringing a lot of good scientific experiments up to the space station, as well as some crew supplies and overall station equipment. And if we have a launch today, what's really exciting for me down here in Florida, prepping for the Atlas mission, is that about an hour and a half after Antares launches, the International Space Station and Cygnus will make a visible pass over Florida. So the team down here covering the Atlas mission is hoping to see the station, and then about 20 minutes later see Cygnus chasing it down just after liftoff. So we're kind of excited about that, although the team isn't super excited right now. They're all in sleep mode, preparing for our long night down here. But Das, if you're ready, like you've been at Wallops for the last 2 days. What's the experience been like? What's the feeling like there on the ground? Because I also see actually on screen right now, we actually have the Antares to the left of that water tower. And the black little structure to the right of that water tower is the Rocket Lab Electron strung back. So that's
I put it right in the middle of the screen for you, Chris.
Yeah, perfect. So like that's where Rocket Lab is building their second pad, and they plan to start launching from Wallops within the next few months. But you can see how close they are and some of the assets that they share with one another. It's really impressive that those two pads are as close to each other as they are. But Das, why don't you take it away for a little while, and tell us about your perspective and what you're seeing and what the feeling's like there on the ground.
Yeah, for sure. So normally whenever we're badged as press to go out and cover a launch, we get this at Cape Canaveral all the time. People are like, oh, turn the camera and look at this other pad. We're here covering something on 41, and they want us to turn and look at pad 40 or 39A or something. And typically when we're badged for one flight. We have permission to look at one thing, this one pad with this one rocket, and we don't go out there and look at other assets on base. Well, I can't really film Antares without also getting the Rocket Lab pad in the shot. So the sort of running joke, we were standing right next to the rocket. I was just outside the fence, maybe 100 feet away from the base of Antares whenever it was horizontal yesterday. And I literally could not film the Antares pad 0A without also getting parts of the Rocket Lab pad in. That's how close together they are. It almost looks like they share concrete. They're so close. So I thought that was an interesting sort of little bit different thing. Somebody asked me, oh, well, turn and look at this other thing at Wallops. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not going to film anything other than what I'm here for. But I literally could not get the Antares on the camera without having a little bit of Rocket Lab in there too. I wonder if that was like a marketing thing on purpose. They're like, oh, I'm going to put my sign right here next to the main pad. But we've got Antares over there, the parts of the pad. If you saw our live streams yesterday, we actually spent a couple hours hanging out, just like Chris was doing at the remote setups for Solar Orbiter earlier. We were over at the Antares pad looking at different parts of the pad, seeing the flame trench, the deluge systems, how it brings water out of the water tower and sort of fills the flame trench with these nozzles. Antares was horizontal at the time, so we got great views yesterday of the late load mobile clean room. The mobile clean room looks like one of those snack trucks at the airport, where it drives over and then it has a scissor lift box on the back that loads up and raises up and then connects to the little door you don't go in on the airplane, and they put all your snacks and drinks on, right? The mobile clean room for Antares looks a lot like that, where it's a big trucks-looking thing, and it drives over, and this clean room actually raises up on scissor lift sort of thing, and they seal the top of the mobile, or the front of the mobile clean room, to the top of the Antares fairing, and they pop the top on the fairing, the payload fairing, they open it up, and they can actually get access to the inside of Antares less than 24 hours in advance. So the late load is something that they use whenever they're doing they have live animals for experiments on board, they have food or something that needs to be loaded into the rocket. They can't sit there for a week or two, right? So Antares late load with the mobile clean room is really cool. They don't have to move the rocket. The rocket is just horizontal on the pad, and then they drive the clean room to the rocket instead of driving the rocket to the clean room.
And
so
Das, we've actually got
cool,
a picture of that right now on the live stream for people to see what you're talking about there. Yeah.
Excellent. So that's what you can see. We've got this new technology we're working on where we can pipe pictures in real time as well. So that should be what the mobile clean room looks like. And we streamed from there yesterday, just sort of hanging out, answering questions. So the other thing about Wallops, Chris, that I think doesn't really match with Florida is that it's cold. I'm cold.
And launch team, we're currently
it's like 45 degrees. It gets down to like 35 degrees at night. I was over near the Wallops Ferry Landing, the public viewing area earlier, and it was mid-40s, and I got my jacket on and stuff, but you stand out here and your hands start to get a little bit too cold to use the touch screens and stuff. But I don't know how. I mean, I guess I do know how you pulled the Florida launch. You live there, right? So I think in the future the Florida launches. Was it warm in Florida for Solar Orbiter so far?
Yeah, it's in the, I mean, it's comfortable here, I would say. It was in the low 70s today. It's going to be about 68 degrees at liftoff time tonight. So, it's very comfortable, which we're grateful for, because normally we're sweltering in the middle of summer in 97-degree weather and 100%.
I'm going to turn them down for a little bit.
So we take these nice winter.
Actually, I'm going to mute them completely for a little bit, because it's a lot of crosstalk, and it confuses me. Suck it up, Florida. Try living in Michigan. I know, right? Not that I don't live in Michigan, but I live in Ohio. So, I have no idea Brooklyn Raps. I don't know which way to look. So this is essentially this is an unofficial stream that we're watching. We may or may not switch over to the official stream later. It's just they have something up now, and it's faster than me trying to pull up marbles. Yeah, towards the coast is probably a good answer. Words are hard. Oh, NASA. Cross off NASA. So bingo. You should all have your individual bingo cards. And to play bingo, you just want to get something. You want to get a row that can be. You just want to get a line. So vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. It doesn't matter which. Once somebody calls out bingo, we'll keep going by trying to fill the whole card. And yeah. And this is just something, again, we do for fun. It's no prizes other than a shout out, and it's kind of fun to try to catch all the things. But because today's card is 38 terms, it's going to be easier for me to just try to cross things off. So yeah. Yeah, you don't want me to mail things. Ask Veronica Cure. You don't want me to mail things. So, yeah. Oh, you were able to see a Wallops launch all the way up in Buffalo? That's impressive. Okay, so I'm going to turn sound back on. And again, even though I don't know the answer, chat normally does, and y'all are amazing.
Pounds of force. That increases to 470,000 pounds as the rocket ascends into the upper atmosphere. And the RD-180 that will be used by the Atlas later on today also uses liquid oxygen and RP-1 kerosene. But it has a much greater thrust. It has a sea level thrust of 860,000 pounds force and 930,000 pounds force as it ascends in the vacuum. So the main difference is the amount of thrust that you get out of the back end of that engine as it launches, and that just goes to show you how different these two rockets are, right? Antares looks really big on the pad compared to the Rocket Lab the Rocket Lab strong back there. but it would be dwarfed by the Atlas V rocket. And the rockets just need different types of thrust, and that's what the two engines do.
It looks like we're starting to get a little bit of venting there. If you can see about halfway down the rocket, we're getting a little bit of venting. It's not a big plume, and I guess that's because of the temperature out here, but I do see a little bit of venting if y'all can see it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that goes hand in hand with the loading of the cryogenic liquid oxygen. That's what you're seeing boiling off there. The sort of white vapors are when the liquid oxygen boils off. They vent out that gaseous oxygen, and that's that white cloud that you see there, which is perfectly normal as we're at 44.5 minutes to launch at this point. For the Antares rocket. And Das, it should be an incredibly gorgeous launch 5 minutes after sunset. And are the skies really clear? Like, do you think you're going to get to see a lot of it as it goes up?
I say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I'm broadcasting at 30 FPS. So there's the sky, Chris, right there. That's what we got. We got some haze on the far horizon, some high-level clouds way out there, but right now, don't want to jinx it. Over the pad, it's nice and clear. It's beautiful out here.
Green on toxics and debris.
Very, very, very nice. And for some of you who are asking on the stream who are watching, and thank you so much to the 1,500 of you that are watching from around the world. I know I saw Germany and Peru, and Australia in there. Let us know where you're watching from around the world. We love that, as Das focuses on the American bald eagle. They're flying over Wallops. But I know a lot of people were asking. Launches actually scheduled for 17, 39, and 30 seconds, and that 30 seconds is very important. That's the opening of our launch window and the exact second that Antares can launch and get Cygnus into the right point in space and in orbit to chase down the International Space Station for a rendezvous on Tuesday. So that's why we time these things down to the absolute second for these launches that have to rendezvous with the space station. I'm seeing the United Kingdom, Virginia, Missouri, Huntsville, Alabama. Someone's watching from the Ukraine, Scotland, Canada, Mexico, Germany, Argentina. Hello to all of you from around the world. We hope you.
So for those of you wondering what's up with Veronica Cure's box, Veronica won a mug from not this past Hangout-a-thon, but the Hangout-a-thon before. That happened to be located in Youngstown. I live in Youngstown. I'll mail it.
Over the net, it's a little hard for me to hear over the.
Yeah.
Listening to that.
I don't even know what my excuse is anymore. So yeah, I keep adding things to Veronica's box. Send her a bonus. There are lots of bonuses. There are lots of bonuses. I feel bad, but like I know exactly where it is, and the idea right now is to send it before I move. So right now, yeah, but I am going to have the car for myself a couple days. No, I still haven't sent it. Planetary Fan. And yes, that's a NASA meatball on the thing.
I was over at the HIF, but because the HIF actually has NG-14 in it, with that 38,000 or 58,000 pound Castor
I am
SRB
not very punctual.
You're not allowed to take anything that transmits into the HIF. And we're talking like can't take a cell phone, can't take a smartwatch even, anything that has a transmitter on it. Key fobs. They say not to even take key fobs in. So we could not bring a live stream camera, which of course requires transmitters, into the HIF. So I was just outside yesterday and we got some NASA logo in the background. After that, we came over to the visitor center. Wallops has a really cool public viewing area at the Wallops Visitor Center, and we just did a little bit of hanging out outside there. That's about 7.3 miles away from the rocket. If you're a public person, like just anybody who wants to come publicly and see the Antares launch from the Wallops Visitor Center. And then a little bit earlier today, I went over to the Wallops Ferry Landing, and I checked out the Wallops Ferry Landing, which is another public viewing site that you can see from. That position is only 2.2 miles away from the pad, about the same distance that we are right now at the actual press site. We also did the pad hangout, so while they were doing the remote camera setups, the fantastic public affairs crew here at Wallops let us do our live stream the entire time they were setting up remote cameras. So we got a little bit of time on the north side of the rocket, which would be the left side of the rocket in this view, and a little bit of time on the south side of the rocket, the other side. The north side was great. You can sort of see Antares. It was horizontal at the time, so it wasn't as cool as the rocket being vertical. But when we were on the south side, on the right-hand side here, it was hard to see the Antares pad because the Rocket Lab pad was in every shot, like I was mentioning earlier. So that was a different thing for me. It's not my first trip to Antares. I've been coming out here since I think it was 08 was the first one that I came to. Had the Rocket Lab pad there, and I was actually quite surprised they were so close together. So anyways, we continue to see a little bit of that venting there, and I took control of the camera for a second because there's no one here to stop
and
me.
actually,
and I got the bald eagle flying. Go ahead.
Yeah, and actually, because you just mentioned the camera and taking manual control, Darium Hernandez wanted to know what type of camera you're using out there.
So the view that you're looking at right now is coming off of a Canon XA11. So it's not a DSLR or anything like that. It's a little run-and-gun prosumer version. But it's not a $10,000 camera. It's a camera that we can afford for these live streams.
Fair. Equipment is expensive. I'm gonna pull chat back up.
All right, we'll try that.
Yeah, Veronica, if you do an unboxing, I think we will all be amused. So the official stream is up. Do we want to switch to that? I can kind of do this thing. Let me see. The view they have now, the official stream has a much better view of the rocket, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm going to mute them, and I am going to drag this back over here. We'll see if that works. Aha, it does.
And hardware to the International Space Station.
So this is the other view.
Flight control room in Houston, Texas. Flight control teams are being
Oh, I forgot to add flight control.
Teams here are monitoring systems on the International Space Station, ensuring all systems are a go for Cygnus launch today. In the Launch Control Center in Wallops Island, Virginia, teams are monitoring systems on the Antares rocket and Cygnus spacecraft to ensure all systems are a go for launch today. Teams are reporting that all systems are in good shape up to this point for an on-time launch at 4:39 p.m. Central Time. And at Northrop Grumman's Mission Control Center in Dulles, Virginia, teams are being led by Mission Director Zach Dwyer. As soon as Cygnus separates from the rocket today, controls of the vehicle will be handed over to flight controllers there in Dulles. This cargo resupply launch comes only 3 days after record-setting NASA astronaut Christina Koch and two crewmates, Soyuz Commander Alexander Skvortsov of Roscosmos and Luca Parmitano of the European Space Agency.
Yeah, I know their broadcasts are boring, but they have a good view of the rocket. They have a really good view of the rocket, so... Yeah, go for launch was uttered. You're right, so we have a bingo already. That was bad Panda Bear, so now we're gonna go for a full card.
And just more than 1 week ago, Northrop Grumman's Cygnus cargo vehicle from its 12th resupply mission, named the Alan Bean, departed the International Space Station after its 88-day stay. So when the 13th resupply mission launches today, Northrop Grumman will perform dual Cygnus capability for a 4-week period before its deorbit burn on February 29th. So it's been a busy start to 2020 for the space station, and much more to come as the year goes on. The Cygnus spacecraft for the space station resupply mission launching today is named in honor of U.S. Air Force Major Robert Lawrence, who was the first African-American astronaut selected by any program, specifically chosen for the Air Force's Manned Orbital Laboratory program in June of 1967. Lawrence died in an F-104 Starfighter aircraft accident at Edwards Air Force Base 6 months later at the age of 32. Clear skies for launch back at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport at NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia. Temperatures now about 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Cygnus will arrive to the International Space Station after a 2-day journey on Tuesday, February 11th, where it will be installed to the Unity module's Earth-facing port. NASA flight engineer Drew Morgan will use the Canadarm2 robotic arm to grapple the spacecraft, backed up by Jessica Meir of NASA. Once the astronauts have captured the vehicle, they'll turn controls back over to teams here on the ground in Houston, where the robotics officer will use the Canadarm2 to reposition the spacecraft and bring it in toward the Unity module to install it to the International Space Station. Cygnus will remain attached to the station until May 11th, when it will depart the orbiting laboratory and complete some satellite deployments and additional objectives before disposing of several tons of trash during a fiery re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere on May 25th.
Launch enable button at the fail-safe panel and verify local indicators eliminated.
GSO and verified launch enabled and illuminated.
Roger that. This time I want to verify RCC enable abort buttons are enabled and illuminated.
Going up on Cygnus today is just over 8,000 pounds of cargo. Within that cargo is 1,669 pounds of crew supplies, 2,174 pounds of science investigations, 200 pounds of spacewalk equipment, 3,534 pounds of vehicle hardware, and 64 pounds of computer resources. I'm joined on console today by Chad Davis of Northrop Grumman, Human Systems Integration and Operations Manager. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I just went over the breakdown of cargo inside Cygnus today. Can you tell us a little bit more about the cargo loading operations and in particular the late load capability?
Yeah, sure. Typically we kick off activities with the initial loading up the items that aren't exactly time critical. And the nice thing with the CRS-2 contract is we've enabled the ability for L-24 hour final late load option, which gives the crew or gives the cargo ops team as well as the customer NASA the ability to get critical life science payload delivered and installed inside the vehicle just prior to that L-24 point to launch and get up to the station.
And today marks the second flight of an Antares 230 Plus rocket. What are some differences your team saw between the rocket we've seen fly before and the 230 Plus that we saw on NG-12 and we'll see again today?
Essentially, some of the things with the 235 are improvements in its performance capability. I know, for instance, that the vehicle itself is able to power through as it goes through max Q. It doesn't need to throttle down as much, which gives the performance improvement of the overall vehicle, as well as the one that ties into actual late load capability is the pop top, we call it, on the fairing that allows us to take out in that 24-hour period mobile clean room and come right up onto the pad when the vehicle is in the horizontal, and the folks inside the mobile clean room will actually pull the nose cone, for lack of a better term, that very small area off the end of the fairing, and gives them access to the hatch of Cygnus and be able to load that critical science like the biological and things that are sort of on a timeline to get up to station so that they preserve the integrity of the actual science or specimens themselves.
And as the Human Systems Integration and Operations Manager, can you just kind of go over what exactly you do for Northrop Grumman?
Yeah, sure. Primarily, the team that I work with is we perform the operations. You saw earlier the Mission Control Center in MCC Dulles, where we fly the Cygnus vehicle from. So we essentially have a team very similar to NASA here. We've got a mission director that is tangential to the flight director. They're in communications with each other once we enter joint operations. But prior to getting to that, the mission director's in charge of the vehicle, and then in the control room you have all the subsystem folks that are responsible for the respective systems, GNC, propulsion, power, and so forth. So they orchestrate and fly the vehicle from launch to we get into the rendezvous phase, and then begin joint operations with our NASA counterparts all the way up to capture.
And when Cygnus takes off today, it'll be the start of Northrop Grumman performing dual Cygnus capability while the Alan Bean remains in orbit for 4 weeks. How do your teams manage 2 vehicles in flight at once?
Yeah, we first experienced or initiated that capability back on NG-11. That particular vehicle we flew for almost 233 days while we had launched NG-12 at the same time. And during that process, we developed tools within our controls that we use to operate the vehicle. So you've got different displays that are different colors, so you know when you're sending commands, it's going to the right vehicle and so forth. And we come together with a different ConOps of operations, how we wanted to orchestrate and have a prime team during dynamic ops when you're doing burns or rendezvous activities versus quiescent ops when the vehicle's just sort of in a free flight state and not doing any maneuvers. And you segregate those teams so that they can monitor the respective vehicles to perform the different tasks going on.
Check 356 FSO. Step 357, bring up the CT for check.
Okay. So the Cygnus isn't reusable. When it comes back down, it's going to just disintegrate in the atmosphere, but they still have to like maneuver it to go into the atmosphere. Yeah, because sometimes they have secondary missions like releasing CubeSats. And such.
29 minutes away from launch today. All systems are still on track for an on-time launch today at 4:39 p.m. Central Time, and that'll be 5:39 p.m. Eastern. Teams have been running through some milestones today, which began just about 4 hours ago at noon.
They send hard drives up. They do send hard drives up. Hard drives are generally okay if they're off and the arms are in the parked position. But they send hard drives up inside of laptops. And these aren't the newest laptops, so these aren't laptops with solid state drives. Yeah, sure, solid state is great, but it shrinks over time. NVMe drives would be okay. I'm not sure what that stands for, Tommy. Sour PIs launch. Let's go. We've got a while.
Roger, Elect 2, we'll check 360 complete, Ops 1. Step 361, transfer FTSA and FTSB to internal power.
LC Ops 1, FTSA and B internal power on. FTSA external power off. FTSB external power off. IRIG is 221142.
And FTS internal power nominal. And I copy all. FSO, send FTS receiver arm for 2 seconds, then remove. Continue check channel when function removed.
FSO, arm on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. +1, +2, arm removed. Check channel continued.
LC, Elect 2, FTS arm indication received. FTS currently indicates safe.
And FSO, verify FTS arm indication.
FTS arm indication.
And copy all. We'll check 364 and 365.
LC, Elect 2, FTS safe in arms and FTLU safe.
Copy, Elect 2, check 366. And Ops 2 LC, countdown 1.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Ops 2, step Juliet 2, you go to deactivate ME2 VPG.
ME2 VPG deactivated.
Copy that, Ops 2.
So on NASA's spaceflight, we wouldn't be able to hear all this traffic, I think. So Shade Oak says that doesn't look very normal. That's just venting. It is completely normal or nominal. The fuel used for this is RP1 and liquid oxygen. So that's liquid oxygen that you're seeing vent off. It's completely normal. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, and Puck finally shook all the Cheerios out of his coat. Yeah, I could see from the right angle
Now
how it
just
would look
about
like fire.
25 minutes from launch, and all systems are still performing nominally for an on-time launch today.
What is MECO? MECO is main engine cutoff.
And launch team, we just passed 25 minutes from our target T0.
Yes, Bad Panda Bear. I'll allow it. I feel like I need to make these really longer. Because we haven't even gotten a liftoff and we've had bingos. Or nominal in SpaceX lingo. No, I thought I could have sworn that it's just having a smoke break. I like that broken symmetry. I think SpaceX is nominal. See, I'm so used to like...
Prop 2 LC, countdown 1.
LC Prop 2.
Step 367, place OCCS in SAC mode and pause HSS-ASC.
In work.
I'm so used to like
Again,
space...
I'm joined on console today by Chad Davis of Northrop Grumman. He's the Human Systems Integration and Operations Manager. Chad, can you tell us what's going to happen once we see Cygnus liftoff today?
Yeah, primarily once we get to T-minus 0, within the first immediate couple seconds, the main engines are going to come up to full thrust. We're going to see it climbing off the pad, and then we're going to burn on the core first stage for a little over 3 minutes, depleting the main first stage, accelerating the vehicle out, and then we'll go ahead and see stage separation. We've got a liquid first stage, and then we've got a solid fueled second stage, our Castor 30XL. At that time, we'll go ahead and see the second stage ignite, but prior to that, we'll go ahead and have fairing separation. So those will come off like a clamshell, exposing the Cygnus vehicle. Typically, the fairing stays on to protect it against the aerodynamic loads in the lower atmosphere. But once you get up high enough, it's so thin, the air, that there's no impacts on the actual Cygnus vehicle. So we'll see the interstage separation.
So it's like 25 minutes to launch, so I think I'm going to go ahead and finish loading into, yeah, there's 20-some minutes.
And then once we complete the burn of the second stage, then we'll go ahead and fire the...
So I'm going to go ahead and load up marbles, because why the heck not?
The upper stage. And then the team in Dulles,
As soon as I remember my password.
folks will go ahead and kick off the activities to initiate the Cygnus vehicle, pressurizing the propulsion systems, you know, bringing things online that were in a dormant state during the launch phase, and then they'll go ahead and one of the primary things we're looking forward is getting the solar arrays out and deployed. We're on battery power, so you want to get those out and deployed, our Ultraflex solar arrays. That way we can start pulling power from them, start recharging what we used of the batteries. And then at that point, the vehicle's in a decent state so that the team is ready to, for lack of a better term, start flying the vehicle and begin its whole phasing operation as it starts to work in its way to chase and catch up with ISS.
LC Ops 1, engine pressure sensors recalibrated and ready for flight.
Copy that, Ops 1. We'll check 377 complete. And Ops 1, let's press with step 378. You go to activate arm enable.
LC Ops 1, arm enable rotated, arm enable illuminated.
And Ops 1, you go to arm stage 1 controller ODM.
LC Ops 1, stage 1 controller ODM armed.
Roger that, Ops 1. We'll check 378, 379. Ops 2, step 380. Set stage 1 controller, EPV VREFs.
Stage 1 controller, EPV VREF set.
Copy that, Ops 2. Check 380 complete. System LC, countdown 1.
Yeah, go ahead, LC.
Yeah, system looking for status on step 381.
In work, LC.
All right, copy that. I'll wait for your report out when that's complete. And launching, we just passed 20 minutes from T0.
LC tell on countdown.
Go tell. Go tell.
Yeah, tell is armed.
Copy. We go ahead and check step 375 complete.
And you can check 374 as well.
Roger that.
Hello, Pamela. All right, of course, we're gonna play marbles. Because even though we have the comms traffic, this is kind of a boring stream to watch. Stompyfoot. Hello, Astro Idea. You snuck in.
Now just about 18 minutes from launch today, and all systems are still a go for an on-time launch at 4:39 p.m. Central Time.
And launch team, we're 18 minutes.
And that's 5:39 p.m. Eastern Time. The Expedition 62 crew on board the International Space Station is watching the launch today, waiting for that cargo to arrive. And at the time of launch, the International Space Station will be flying over the eastern Atlantic Ocean, west of the African country of Senegal.
We got a good number of racers today, 15. This should be interesting. Hello, Evil Intent. At least they will have plenty of time to enjoy the Oscars. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that's tonight. I do keep forgetting that's tonight. How do you play marbles? Tommy, you did exclamation point play, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Race is gonna start in about 20 seconds. So.
LC system, step 381.
And I can't control anything. I don't know what you think is happening. Yes, we will be back here for the Solar Orbital launch tonight. Dr. Pamela is going to stream that one. I think think you might have made it in, Stealthy Sumo. I'm not sure. Oh, I like it when there's a lot of marbles. Makes it a little more interesting. Are you cheering for a winner? Or are you telling me it's past lunchtime? See, it could be past. They could have all of these things and they still want dinner. Oh, through the water wheel? I don't know what to make that. Bits! Go, Tommy! You're in first! What happens here? Broken Symmetry, I think, just got yeeted off the board. DPI is right on Tommy's tail. Let's see what happens here, shall we? Oh! Oh! Tommy and DPI and Astrowise got yeeted off the board. Looks like Veronica Cure is in the lead. She might beat the ghost marble? Maybe not.
Again, mostly sunny skies for launch back
Oh,
at the
Refsmat snuck ahead. Refsmat, then
Wallace
Veronica
Flight
Cure,
Facility
and
in Virginia. Temperatures now
Wayne,
about
Guido.
4 degrees
Poor
Fahrenheit.
Pamela's stuck up here on the mixer.
Prop lead LC, can you give me status on 382?
Hazard,
Yes, LC, this is prop lead. F1 and
Evil
level is
Intent,
11.
Astro Idea, Planetary Pan.
Copy that.
Starstrider
And,
finally
Core
left
1
the
LC,
mixer.
countdown 1.
Beer Bong pulls ahead of Starstrider. And Keeper of Maps is bringing up the rear. Did I get yeeted off? I think I got yeeted
Core
off.
1 LC, countdown 1.
Go ahead, LC. This is Core 1. Fuel adjustment is not required.
Let's see what happens here.
Core 1,
Yeet.
Prop 2, step 384. Configure OCCS for no adjustment to fuel level.
In work.
It was though, Refsmat.
And prop lead, step 385, not required. CMD LC, countdown 1. CMD, you go to transfer signals to internal power and report when complete. In work. And launching, be advised, step 387, not required. And prop 2 status on 384.
OCCS configured for no adjustment to fuel level.
Yeah, it's going to be...
I copied that. Ops 2 will go ahead and check, prop 2 will go ahead and check 384 complete. Ops 2 LC, countdown 1.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and perform step Juliet 2, pre-burner low temperature abatement checklist again. You go for cycle 2, ME2 VPG activate.
ME2 VPG activated.
They're going to do the checklist again?
Okay, launch team, we're coming up on our final poll for readiness to proceed to our final countdown. It is National Pizza Day, and everybody should be aware that the team has been designated as a pepperoni pizza today.
I don't know, Guido. I'm amused by their silliness.
And coming up on 12 minutes from launch, when flight controllers will conduct a poll to proceed with the final launch countdown.
LC countdown 1, step 38. At this time, I want a poll to proceed with final countdown. GSO?
GSO, go.
RSO? RSO's go. TD? TD's go. Prop lead? Prop lead is go. Stage 1?
Stage 1 is go.
MES?
MES 1 is go.
GCE?
GC is go.
ACE?
Uh-oh.
ACE is go.
There we go.
Mars? Mars is go. CMD? CMD is go. LD? LD is go. NG?
In honor of Major Robert Lawrence, the first African-American astronaut who made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of the human exploration of space, and who showed that courage and inspiration know no color, Northrop Grumman is go.
And I copy that, NG. We'll go ahead and call go to proceed with final countdown, and we'll check 388 complete.
Yeah, he died while he was training
You just heard
pilot.
the poll to proceed with the final countdown to launch, and all teams are a go.
He died while he was training another pilot. Oh, Wayne fell off the board. I'm embarrassed that I didn't remember because he has a satellite in orbit that is essentially like...
Ops 2 LC, countdown 1, step 389. We go to start engine evacuation.
It's essentially a memorial.
Ops 2. Engine evacuation started.
Roger that, Ops 2.
Everybody's on the... well, not everybody. Speed bumps!
Just about 10 minutes and 30 seconds now from launch, and everything is still proceeding smoothly for an on-time launch at 4:39 p.m. Central Time, 5:39 p.m. Eastern.
And we have a new record.
CMD, we'll go ahead and check that step complete.
That's actually really cool that we have a new record. Alright, what's the holdup here? Speed bumps? Come on, little marbles. You can make it past the speed bumps. Go be with your friends. Go be with your friends. Ta-da! Broken Symmetry 1.
LC MES 1, step 390, vacuum verified.
Copy that, MES 1. We'll go ahead and check 390 complete.
Oh, we still got 9 minutes to launch. Okay. Let's see.
And launch team LC on countdown. We're at T-minus 9 minutes and counting. Ops 1, step 392. We go to enable ACS VDMs.
LC Ops 1, ACS VDM's internal power on.
Copy, Ops 1. ACS VDMs enabled, voltage nominal, ODM.
Thank you! And make it rain! Tinker's like, I'm here. I'm here for these Cheerios. I don't know if I can get away with not feeding her dinner tonight. Oh, we'll just leave it on the rocket view while
Now
we wait.
just over 8 minutes from launch today. Once we get to that launch time, the first thing that will occur is the stage 1 ignition, and you'll see liftoff just a few seconds after that. And those two main engines will burn for about 3 minutes and 28 seconds before cutting off, and stage 1 will separate. Cygnus will coast for a bit until fairing separation, when the external cover that protects the spacecraft during launch will separate. The interstage adapter that connects the first stage and second stage will separate at 4 minutes and 14 seconds into flight before stage 2 ignition, a solid rocket fuel that will burn for 3 minutes and 43 seconds. Once the second stage burns out, we'll be listening for the call of orbit insertion at 7 minutes and 4 seconds after launch. The vehicle will coast for 2 minutes before Cygnus separation, 9 minutes and 4 seconds after launch, with solar array deploy occurring about 2 hours and 50 minutes after launch. The deploy of those two Ultraflex solar arrays currently tucked away on Cygnus takes about 30 minutes. Then the vehicle will begin gathering data during its 2-day journey to the International Space Station.
Right. Oh wow, Wayne all the way out in the lead for a second. everybody has to go down these weird pipe-looking things. Looks like Broken Symmetry is in the lead. We'll see, though. Nope. How did I end up in the lead? Oh, because now everybody has to go down that and then down a hole. Okay. So up the zoomy thingy, and then... I don't remember what we call these. Moving body bags? But they're definitely good at slowing everybody down. And here's a water wheel combine.
Now 6 minutes until launch, and all systems are still a go.
No, not the hamster ball! See who else is gonna get stuck in here. I wonder if Broken Symmetry is gonna beat their record. What kind of data does what collect? Trillion H2O says. Oh shoot! Wayne made it out of the thing. Yeah, I don't know. I realized what I said after I said it. Pins on a stick? Pins on a stick. Punching bags. Punching bags. Alright, so there's Broken Symmetry's record, which Broken Symmetry didn't beat. There comes Wayne.
Just announced on the loops that
DPI.
they will do a hold at the 5-minute mark for unexplained reasons. We'll keep you posted when we hear more.
Oh no. There's a hold? Hazard, Astro, Beer Bong. Guido looks like just exited the hamster ball. Poor Guido's marbles getting beat around in the mixer.
And prop 2, prop lead on countdown 1. Prop 2, go ahead. Place OCCS in auto mode and pause the HPGN2 auto sequence control. You mean semi-auto mode? That's affirmative.
Yeah, Guido, you just got kind of stuck. I don't think this mixer is going to be kind to you either. Maybe. Oh, Guido got past all the hazards. Yeah, there's a hold. So let me switch. There's a hold for unexplained reasons. But I can't hear all the traffic. Because they have a microphone on the lily vent things. Or the oxygen venting.
And be advised we have just under 3 minutes remaining.
Please be advised something. This down here isn't a timer. I think that's just time of day.
Closed. And prop 2, open valve 5047.
They're opening a valve
just
somewhere.
Under 3 minutes to make that launch window. The launch window today is 5 minutes, beginning at 4:39 p.m. Central Time. So Northrop Grumman will have until 4:44 p.m. Central Time to get that launch off.
Wilco and prop 2, resume auto sequence control of the HPGN2. Auto sequence resumed. And return OCCS to auto control mode. OCCS return to auto control mode. Launch team LC, countdown 1, be advised, we'll be resuming our countdown at 22:39:29 Zulu. We have a new targeted T0 of 22:40:59. That's 22:40:59 Zulu. We'll currently complete all steps 390 through step 398. As we resume the countdown, we'll go ahead and initiate engine priming and get ready to transfer avionics to internal power.
It was slightly delayed. This one has a 5-minute launch window, so better than a instantaneous.
T0 will be 224429. Our new T0 will be 224429 Zulu.
Yeah, it's just a hold. Turning it off and turning it back on again.
And we're less than 1 minute from resuming our countdown.
Go ahead and type exclamation point play. I'm going to start the clock. Hey, favorite human. Yeah, this might be the last marble race. Just because I don't want anybody to miss the launch. This is supposed to be a real quick track. Alright.
And launch time, our countdown, launch team, our countdown has resumed. Ops 2, step 399, you go to initiate engine priming.
Engine priming started.
Copy, engine priming started. Ops 1, transfer avionics to internal power.
And as you just heard, the countdown has resumed. We're looking now for a launch at 4:44:39 p.m. Central Time.
LC Ops 1, external power off.
That'll bring Cygnus right to the end of the launch window today.
LC Elect 1, internal power is nominal.
Alright.
Roger, Elect 1, check 401. Ops 1, you go to open FTS Umbi-loop and verify green indication.
With the new countdown, we're now 4 minutes and 20 seconds away from launch.
LC Elect 2, FTLU and FTS receiver indications are nominal.
Copy, Elect 2, we'll check 402 and 403.
It is probably full of water. They'll hose everything down.
LC Ops 1, all arm commands set.
DPI coming out in the lead.
Copy, Ops 1, check 404 complete. LC Elect 1, estimates ODMs all armed. Copy, Elect 1, check 405. TD, report range status. Range is green.
Oh, I see what happens. You can actually go back up through the thing.
MES1 priming verified.
Roger that. Priming verified. Check 407 complete.
That's just mean. DPI followed by Open Cage and Dr. Pamela.
Be advised, phase 3 dynamic limits will be active at T-minus 3 minutes.
Peg's holding up evil intent. Looks like Salty Spittoon and Planetary Pan got to go for a ride.
FC command in flight mode.
Three minutes until liftoff.
Let's see if Planetary Pan makes it this time. She does!
GNC 1, step 413, verify ready for nav mode. Orb nav ready for the nav. And Ops 2, step 414, switch to nav.
Orb nav, switch to nav.
Copy that, Ops 2, check 414, complete.
I mean, that's a lot of what everybody does right now. Sure, range is green.
We have an abort. We have an abort on countdown 1, launch team. We have an abort.
All right.
Time to proceed to abort.
Everybody finished that time.
Checklist.
Oops. I didn't realize I had kept it small that entire time.
And the launch today has been scrubbed for reasons yet to be determined.
Oh! And it aborted. It's scrubbed. Well then. Well then.
Ops 1, LC, countdown 1, step Alpha 2, disable your local launch enable button at the failsafe panel. Verify local indicators, extinguish.
LC Ops 1, launch enable removed.
And GSO, step Alpha 3, disable your local launch enable button, fail-safe panel, and verify local indicators.
I guess I really should start including scrub on the bingo cards.
Ops 1, verify removal of your master global launch enable.
LC Ops 1, removal of master global launch enable verified.
More marbles then?
Ops 1, you can deactivate your arm enable fail-safe.
I have not fed the dogs and they've been begging for food even though they've had Cheerios. Lots and lots of Cheerios. Tinkerbell, are you hungry?
MES1, step Alpha 6.
Go. Go. Don't look at me. I'm not the one feeding you. Alright. Yeah, no, neither scrub nor abort. Alright, so I'm just gonna duck the audio so it's easier for you all to hear me. So, that's a thing. That was a thing. I'm not sure what all is going on. They're probably figuring something out. But, yeah, good night everybody that stayed up for this launch. I'm sorry that it didn't go, but better safe than sorry.
Roger that, MES1. And Ops 1, step Alpha 8, you go to safe vehicle SNAs, and vehicle and ground ODMs, and verify ODMs.
LC Ops 1 in work. LC Ops 1, vehicle safe and arms, and vehicle and ground ODMs.
Alright, 10:30 which time though? 10:30 Eastern time? Yeah, Salty Spittoon, they have not announced why they aborted, just that they aborted. First it was a delay, then it was an abort, so they scrubbed the thing. Okay, so 10:30 Eastern time, so in about 5 hours, be back for the other rocket launch of the evening. I am going to go, so... Yes, Tinker, so I'm going to copy the video URL. For those of you that want to continue watching this, I don't know what kind of abort it was. I'm gonna go. For those that want to continue watching this,
Again, the launch today has been scrubbed. It was scrubbed less than 3 minutes from liftoff for reasons yet to be determined. The vehicle is now being safed, and we're standing by for further recycle options.
I don't know if they have.
And Core 1 LC, countdown 1.
LC Core 1 on countdown 1?
Yeah, directly you can already restart the MS session report when complete.
Yeah, but I'm gonna call it because I don't know if they have another launch window tonight. And yeah.
And System LC, countdown 1.
Yeah. But wherever you all are, I hope you have a wonderful insert time of day here. If you're new, welcome. Give us a follow. If you've been around a while, thank you for your support. And I am going to do that awkward roll credit things. And I'm going to call it a night. There we go, it's rolling. So, follow Starstrider on Twitter and she'll keep track of stuff and she'll do it because I'm off to go enjoy my Sunday evening. Oh, a valve got stuck open. That explains the close it and open it again. So,
yes, the assay flow rate is 1587 and the assay temperature is 62.5.
So this has been a production of PSI, it's Planetary Science Institute. And yeah, things and stuff. But I will see you all soon. And yeah, thanks everybody. Bye.